Do you want to learn more about the real Belize and listen to locals and expat stories that are actually living here in Belize? Well, you're in the right place right now. You're listening to Belize Talk Radio, and I'm your host, Macarena Rose. Welcome back, everybody, to Belize Talk Radio. And wow, what an incredible segment. And getting to hear from Makeva and actually Delani talk about their job as being coordinator and assistant coordinator of the Special Envoy for Women and Children. And wow, about this book release. Well, without further ado, I thought that we would get straight direct from the Special Envoy the information that we weren't able to find out ahead of time, like, for example, where the name of the book actually came from and how it came up with. And those things are kind of important or fun, I think, tidbits for us to know. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Mrs. Kim Simplis Barrow, the Special Envoy for Women and Children, who is also the spouse of the Belize Prime Minister, Dean Barrow. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
It's an honor to have you on, actually. And, you know, Belize Talk Radio, I'm really passionate about getting anything out there about Belize is a positive. We only do positive news and positive, wonderful things, and everything you do is positive. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what we try to do every day.
It's what you do, and I can quite frankly say that, you know, we have a great choice of having you as the First Lady. It's an honor that we actually have you because you are incredibly passionate about doing good things, and no, without further ado, especially the book, right?
Right. That's one of the many projects that we've been working on for a number of years. The book is very special for me because it really, I have been through the experience of having to have the good touch, bad touch talk with my own daughter. And I have many friends who have children, and I know even growing up it was a difficult subject to talk about with us. So I just really wanted to create a piece that would aid parents really to make the conversation a little bit easier about sexual abuse. Though the book is very child friendly and it's easy for children to read, it really helps parents to talk about sexual abuse. As I'm sure you know, it's not an easy subject to talk about. So
no, and quite frankly, many people won't talk about things that are uncomfortable, even if it's to educate and help their children. So you're giving them the tool to have that conversation.
Yes, that's the objective, really.
And actually, even more so, even if the parents still aren't comfortable, the children have the book and they get to learn. And so the conversation is being had with adults through the venue of the book. So I think that that's powerful. What's been your experience as you've been passing out these books?
The experience has been positive, which is really good. Again, it reinforces that parents want to talk about it, and children need to have age-appropriate information. And so this has been a very positive experience for all of us. I mean, it's an achievement. It's a huge accomplishment, and we're very happy to be able to not just help children but help parents through this.
I think it gives them permission then to have that conversation, and they have the tool to have the pictures and to have it written in a child-friendly manner that they can have that conversation, and that's how you elicit change, is by having those conversations with children. Because who's going to change things from forward? They're going to watch role models.
Right. It's very important because communication starts with the parent. So it also helps open that conversation, the communication between a parent and a child. I think that's a very important aspect of relationships with parents and children. So again, it's feeding into the whole development and growth of our children.
How do your children feel about the work that you're doing and the book?
I have one child. Her name is Simplis Barrow. and she was very proud. I must say she's a tough cookie. She's 8 years old, but she's very proud of what I do, and has even went a step further, and last year she wanted to help children because she's seen me doing it all these years, and so she set up with a group of her friends a limeade stand to help children with cancer. So that was also a proud moment for me to see that come to light, that come to a reality actually.
So you can actually see your daughter is getting the positive role model from you, and she's doing something with it. So you've taught her that it's not you just talk about it, you do something.
Right, that's important.
So how did the conversation start about the book, and how did you decide to do that with Starla?
Well, my focus as Special Envoy for Women and Children has been primarily with children, and we've had a number of reported cases of child sexual abuse, and I knew that we had to address the issue hands-on, and it started with our legislations. So there were a number of things that we had to do, and I started out with hosting a symposium on the commercial sexual exploitation of children. I thought it was very important that we do that we address it, and that we try to get the tourism sector involved in helping us to combat the commercial sexual exploitation of children. And along the lines, we just thought about, okay, what else can we do to, one, help parents, two, educate our children. And I just knew that it had to be through a book. It had to be through a way of educating our children in a child-friendly manner. The targeted ages for these children is between 7 and 10.
Wow.
So it's this book really it's a storybook. It's a interesting, upbeat, very colorful book, and that is exactly what I envisioned. I wanted to be an attractive piece of material that kids could gravitate to, and would like to, even if it's just to look at it. Once we get them to look at it,
Right.
they want to read it.
And they may not even be able to read yet, but they actually will be wanting to still be drawn to the book. Maybe they will want them to read.
Well, we encourage parents to read to their children, for those kids who can't read. So that's also another aspect of the whole project.
So would you share with us, since we kept putting everybody off on how you came up with the name of the book? They kept deferring to you.
Actually, the name of the book is really in line with teaching our kids at an early age that their bodies are precious. And for them to embrace themselves, whether they're black, they're white, they're fat, it's not a good word, but thin, well, whatever shape or size, whatever the issues they might think that they have at that age. It's about positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. My body is precious. Full stop. There's no denying that.
I love that.
And
My body. I love that. My body is precious. Full stop. That's powerful. Because it is when you say that, when you say my body is precious, you can feel it.
Right. And that's what we want. We want our children, we want all of our children to start from a very early age to appreciate themselves, to appreciate their bodies, and to know that their bodies are precious, and that they need to take care of their bodies. And if they take care of their bodies, then someone else might come into their life that will, respect their bodies, and because they see that they're respecting their own bodies, then no one will be able to take advantage of them so easily. So it's really, that's a message that we want our kids to grow up saying, my body is precious and you have no right to harm me.
That's a powerful statement. I like that. So you're giving kids a voice and empowerment for sure. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I would love to hear more about the center and the telethon, because I think it's important for people to know how they can find you. Do you mind? You mind holding on for a quick commercial break?
Sure.
Thank you so much. You're listening to Belize Talk Radio. We're going to be back in just a moment with the First Lady. You're listening to the Overseas Radio Network. Welcome back, everybody, to Belize Talk Radio. And, before break, when we were speaking to the First Lady, I don't know how to address you, and I don't want to be politically incorrect. I know that you're the special... Okay, thank you. So, Kim, I want you to please share with people, how can they find you? How can they get on board and get the information, as to the things that are going on, and they can actually find out when you get those books available for everyone else, which would be fabulous, because I know lots of schools would appreciate them in the, all over in the Americas and worldwide. So how do they find you?
Well, we have a Facebook page, which is like the easiest way to find us now in today's world and technology. And the Facebook page is Special Envoy Belize. Again, Facebook page Special Envoy Belize. We also have a website, which is www.specialenvoy.bz.
Okay.
And we also, and let me repeat it, it's www.specialenvoy.bz. And we have another page, which is the www.belizeinspirationcenter.org.
Belize Inspiration Center. Now, we haven't talked about that yet.
No, we haven't. And the inspiration, sorry.
No, I want to hear more. Go. It makes me excited. So share with the world.
Oh, the Inspiration Center really is a center that would cater to persons with disabilities, children with disabilities in particular. And it's really a center where they will be able to go and get therapy, the therapy that they need. We don't have such a facility in Belize as yet. I saw the need for a facility like this from the time I was appointed Special Envoy for Women and Children. I had worked with persons with disabilities. I have been involved with Special Olympics Belize, and I'm also Global Ambassador for Special Olympics. So it was very important to try to find a way to bridge that gap and to try to send a clear message that persons with disabilities have rights too, and that persons with disabilities have a rightful place in our society. I believe that they need to get whatever therapy it is that they need in order for them to become functional members of society, or a little more functional than if they wouldn't get the therapies that we will be able to provide shortly. I must say the Inspiration Center is coming along very, very well. We're already on the building phase of it. We held a telethon last year where we were able to raise $1 million Belize. Wow. That was a huge accomplishment.
Wow.
Never had I imagined, even though I set the goal, but I never thought for 1 second that we would have been able to do it. It was, it was a tease, and it, so we're very excited this year. We're having our second annual telethon on June 1st. And we're hoping that we'll be getting a lot more support, not just from Belize, but international.
I agree with that. And that was part of Belize Talk Radio. We're international. So that if people join your Facebook page, they'll know what number to call in on, right?
Right. They can, for now, they can call in at 501-223-1941.
Okay.
I will repeat, 501-223-1941.
And remember, everybody, if you're dialing in, it needs to be the 011 if you're coming in from international. So if you're calling from, well, we've got listeners all over the world, for goodness sakes. They have to remember that part of it, so they don't call, Arkansas. Which is very funny. We have a gentleman that calls, by accident to try and get to Belize, and he actually calls Arkansas, and it's very funny. Thank God the person on the other line is very nice. So, but your contact information is very important because what you're doing matters. And Frank, I know that you know that, but you're the goddess of it. You're the inspiration, and inspiration comes.
Sure.
Well, I would reckon to say yes for sure, and we're all very blessed in Belize for sure with you. The thing is that inspiration does come from the Latin word in spirit, so that the reason that you chose that is very powerful to me because it is in spirit that you're doing all of this, and it shows.
Well, these children have inspired me. I think I have learned more from them than they from me. So I'm only doing my part. I feel, and it's one step towards bridging that huge gap that exists. So I'm looking forward to the opening of the center and to seeing these children go to the center. One important aspect of the Inspiration Center that I didn't mention is that it will also serve as an after-school center for children who want to do computer classes, or we might be able to offer like ballet classes or music classes. I think especially in the area where the Inspiration Center will be located, it's very important that we offer those services. Again, in line with promoting inclusivity. It's a huge part of whatever I do. I strongly believe that inclusiveness is very important, and especially for the differently able and able to be able to come together and go to a ballet class or take music lessons. I think that's very important that they learn from each other.
Absolutely, because as always, we have more similarities than differences. And so how fabulous for kids are kids, for them to just allow to be their own selves. But to be immersed together, it's nice to not separate. Separation never works.
It doesn't.
No,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. So I think it's powerful what you're doing. Do you wake up in the morning and go, wow, I'm stepping out of bed and I got a great reason to do it?
I get out of bed and I say, thank you for another day.
That's a very powerful thing to be able to say. You know what? More people could learn from you for certain, because we need to be grateful for every single day. And really, you're giving women and children permission to raise their bar and want to become part of the community and part of their country. And so you're making people proud. And when people see other people doing good things, then they have that as a role model.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Yeah, I do believe that's we all need to do our part. I believe that, and I try to encourage people to do theirs, and it doesn't have to be the same thing that I'm doing. We all have a role to play. I strongly believe that we all have a role to play, and it might not be, you can do your part in your own way. It can be, today I'm going to my son's school and I'm going to go read a book to the class. That's your part. You do your part. If we all do our part, then we'll make the world a better place. So.
Yeah, you all are really doing that already, which is really powerful. So you're right. Everybody do something positive every day with kindness.
Right.
Sounds simple to me. everyone raise their bar and do it because they have an inspiration like you to listen to that's doing it every single day. I want to thank you for being on the show today. It's an honor and a privilege, and I would love for you to come back before the telethon, even if it's just by phone, that we can talk, so that way we can remind people the phone number. Or have Makiva call in, because I would love to be part of being able to make sure people know to call and help on the 1st of June.
Okay, thank you so much. It will be our pleasure to be back.
Thank you.
To share our more information with your listeners and viewers. So thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And next time I'll see you in person by the grace of God. I'm doing my part here, though, in talking and educating about Belize. So I'm doing that. Now I am very thrilled to have something else to be passionate about, because every speech that I do on Belize is always 2 foundations. Well, I have just absolutely found my top 3 for sure. Absolutely. So it's a privilege. I want to thank you. Have a fantastic day. You've been listening to Belize Talk Radio. What a wonderful show. Listen to us again as always. I'm your host, Macarena Rose, from the Overseas Radio Network.